what happened in running, all you're doing is you're alone. You're not racing anyone, you're racing yourself. It went from being something that I enjoyed to being something that I now need.
Give me a little bit about that self-talk that is just absolutely going in the mind while you're running.
The runner's high is the same as you. First few times you get it, and when you get it, it's magical. I'm not a meditator, I'm too hyper. I believe that running is a meditation because everything in my mind quiets. You become so in tune to your body. I'm in tune to my mind, I'm in tune to my emotions. I know what my runs are gonna be like before I step out the door. I know what my nutrition's like. I know how to talk to my body. There's something called the wall. You hit the wall, your body says, fuck you, we're not moving.
Yep.
And the run becomes mental.
Okay, welcome back to the 1% Club podcast, where elite performers and innovators unpack the habits, mindsets, and execution that separate the top 1%. I'm your host, Sean Freitas, and today we're diving into the intersection of visionary design, entrepreneur grit, and athletic discipline. My guest today is a female powerhouse, Carolyn Harris. Thank you so much for being on here today.
Hi, Sean. Nice to be here.
And, so Carolyn is an industry-shaping leader in architectural lighting and the founder of Studio Lux, a woman-owned powerhouse redefining luxury environments across the globe. Carolyn's work transforms high-end hospitality, gaming, and entertainment spaces into immersive, emotionally resonant experiences. She's collaborated with icons like Robert Thomas and Steve Wynn. You're running a marathon next week, which is badass. That's not casual. What does your training routine look like, and how do you integrate that kind of physical commitment into a demanding life as a mother and entrepreneur?
Oh, man. I mean, first, I love running. There's nothing better than running. Oh my God, I talk forever about running. My training is rough. Last November, I was supposed to run a marathon. And I was training, but I was opening a restaurant at Venetian. And all these things went wrong, and I missed 2 weeks of training. And 2 weeks, 4 weeks out from a marathon, you're not there.
Yeah.
So we made a decision. So I ended up running the half. Whatever. Half is the perfect distance. Marathon's it's where the rubber meets the road or whatever. But we've decided we modified my training. I keep a very high level of training at all times. You know, a typical training plan, you start really low mileage and you work up, and your last month before you hit your peak week is, your high mileage. My mileage has always been, for the last 4 months, I've been running 15s every Sunday. And then, at the last few weeks, we really turned it up. We try to be 40, 45 miles a week going into the marathon. Now, because of my job, sometimes I have to miss a week of training. The first time it happened was in January. I missed a week. And I really tried. But when you're doing, business development for me, that's nighttime events. Sometimes I'm not getting home until 1 or 2 in the morning. And then I have to be at a meeting at 8 a.m. when I'm traveling. So sleeping 3 hours, waking up and trying to knock out a 4-mile run in the middle of a city you have no idea where you're at, it's a rough ask. This particular training block, because it's been a rough 2 months, I missed a week. I came back, I just kept hitting my long runs. I missed my daily runs. So, I'm running 20, I'm running 18. There's this beautiful thing that happens called stress. And apparently the body doesn't love stress, no matter how much mentally it loves.
I can attest to this.
Yep, so we got injured. We ramped down my mileage now. And so I'm running a marathon next week, and I haven't run a long run in 3 weeks. We're gonna be okay. I'm real nervous right now.
You're born with it inside of you.
I know, I love it though. It's I don't even know if I answered your question. Training and balancing my life is very hard. I am a morning person. I get up at 4:30 every morning. I don't use an alarm. I just am up. I have a daughter. I have to get her to school in the morning, so I wake up at 4:30. I work until about 6:45. I wake her up at 6:45. I get her ready for school, get her to school. That's when I run. And, now it's hot, but when it's cold, it's beautiful. You get your morning run in. I'm in the office usually 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'll stay at the office until about 3. I come home, pick up my daughter, take her home. I have a home office, and I usually work until about 6:45.
That's what I said. So let's, kids, everyone's like, oh, you only work 5 hours.
No.
Hold on.
No. We have not finished the day.
Let's talk about the phone. Let's talk about the phone 24/7.
Yes.
Or the business always on the mind 24/7.
Yeah. You didn't know that I worked until midnight last night, that I started at 4 a.m., that my poor daughter, she's really good on calls. I take calls when I drive her to and from school. She's come to meetings with me. There's 24 hours in a day, and I would say that 90% of it is done working. Have you seen this? You probably haven't seen Shonda Rhimes. She did Grey's Anatomy, all these great shows, Bridgerton, whatever. She did this speech at some school, and she basically was like, look, I'm a working mom. And there's one lesson I learned as a mom. Whatever I'm not working on is failing. So if I go do this show, I'm not doing bath time with my daughter. If I go do bath time, I'm losing a massive deal with whatever studio. And that is like the dichotomy of being a working mom. So I live in a state of a lot of guilt about that. But I do, like you said, my parents worked, and I'm proud of the work ethic. And my daughter is so proud of me. She tells everybody I'm the boss. She tells, we go skiing, and she'll go, Mom, I saw 5 houses under construction. You should go do the lighting. She's promoting me.
And how old is she?
6.
Wow.
She's a...
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have limited time, but when you do get to spend time with her, how important is that to you? And do you give 100% energy to
100%.
that? There's something spiritual about long distance running. This is always something I've wanted to do. So now that I've put it out in the public.
Are you announcing a triathlon right now?
I don't know about a triathlon,
Okay.
but I want to experience the runner's high because I'm looking for some type of a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, I found it on the motorcycle a little bit, like to get it, but like I'm all, like that runner's high I want. How has running shaped the way you lead, make decisions, and handle pressure in your business?
Oh my God, that's a great question. I've always been a runner, but not like I am now, where like my sole sport is running. And before I decided to become just a runner, I took validation outwardly. I was very competitive. Everything I needed came, like if I needed attention or I needed to feel good about myself, I needed it from my friends. I needed it from the people that I was going to the gym with. I needed to beat everybody that I was at the gym to make sure that I was the most athletic. And in business, I was the same. Like I would target people and I'd be like, I'm gonna be better than that person. And I just was in a constant state of chasing validation. And when I started long distance running, 4 years ago? I'm going to read you a quote. So it's, no matter how mundane some action might appear, keep at it long enough and it becomes contemplative, even meditative act. What happened in running, all you're doing is you're alone. You're not racing anyone, you're racing yourself. And it went from being something that I enjoyed to being something that I now need. I have become, because of running, so centered in myself. I know what I'm capable of. I know what my challenges are. I mean, when you're running for 5 hours.
I was going to say, give me a little bit about that self-talk that is just absolutely going in the mind while you're running.
I mean, first, let me start with this. The runner's high is the same as you. First few times, you get it. And when you get it, it's magical. The longer you run, the less it comes. So therefore, you start running more. It's this wild thing. And not every run, you don't get it after a while for a little bit. And then when you do, it's amazing. When I run, there's a lot of jokes in the running world about, the first 3 miles is all you're doing is sitting there like, fuck this, I don't want to do this sucks, my legs don't work. Oh my God, how did I get so bad? That does happen a lot. There's a lot of like, why am I doing this? Something about between mile 3 and 5 that everything just, it's like the wheels are greased. And everything just quiets. And you enter this, I'm not a meditator, I'm too hyper, but I believe that running is a meditation because everything in my mind quiets. And I can step outside and think about what's happening in my business, think about challenges I have. And there's something about, I don't know if it's the repetitive motion of the movement, I don't know if it's the music, but my solutions start to come. I can't describe it. It's the same with like personal relationships. My daughter, it's like I go in and my office is a mess and I finish the run completely filed in my file cabinet. And everything is easy. I talk to my watch on my run because I'm constantly taking notes on my thoughts. Most of my best friends are entrepreneurs. Most of them are runners, so I don't really have anything to gauge.
Entrepreneurs can be friends with
no,
non-entrepreneurs.
it's real complicated to not be. They just
no one knows what the fuck you're talking about.
You don't vibe the same.
It seems like you're just complaining about everything. They don't understand any.
No,
I mean, not any real stress because there's obviously you can have other stresses in life.
Totally,
but
it's different.
You gotta have the same type of people around you.
Yep, it's different. So we talk about the running brain. And the other thing that's really amazing about running, you become so in tune to your body. I'm in tune to my mind. I'm in tune to my emotions. I know what my runs are going to be like before I step out the door. I know what my nutrition's like. I know how to talk to my body. That strength of character, I don't know if you know this about marathon runners. Every marathon runner has a mantra. There's something called the wall. You hit the wall. Your body says, fuck you, we're not moving.
Yep.
And the run becomes mental. The mental part of the run is the best part. Because my marathon in April, I didn't want to hit the wall. And so I started at mile 13, and all I said was, fuck you all, you're not fucking coming. And I said it for, I think, 12 miles. And then I looked up and I was like, holy shit, I'm at mile 24. Like, this race is fucking done. Let's go. And then I sprinted. Like, so there's a mental strength that comes with running that has changed who I am as a person, and therefore made me a better business person, because I no longer need the outside validation, because I get so much of it from myself. Now, when I'm not running, because I'm injured, I'm a psychopath, because I now require that meditation. And it's, does the runner's high come? I call them unicorn runs. Oh my God. When they come, it's glorious. The music hits right, the sun is right, the thoughts are right, the body's vibing. And then you have bad runs. And bad runs, you're in a bad mood, your stress cup's too full, you're pissed, you can't get your pace right.
It's the exact ride of an entrepreneur.
It's literally the same.
Before business was small, so it's like you have a great day
Yep.
or a great week, and then, oh man, that was
Yep.
kind of like a tough month. Now you can suffer a roller coaster effect in the same hour.
I just said that to someone yesterday.
I was like,
at
man,
this
no
level,
one prepares you for this shit. And then
man.
you're making a lot of money and you're paying out a lot of money. And and it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I think everything you're doing prepares you for what's about to come next.
Yep.
So if you're in a challenge point and something's really putting a lot of pressure and stress on you, something big is about to come. Okay. Managing the mental load. So you're balancing design leadership, client delivery, family life, serious training. How do you protect your mental clarity and avoid burnout? Any frameworks or routines that keep you grounded, maybe outside of running?
I know, my immediate running. This is something that I've spent this year trying to understand. Like I said, I used to take a lot of validation from being around people, being out, always going out, doing stuff, never stopping. Because, I've had a few injuries, some pretty major ones that have taken me out of running. Just like we were talking about, when you hit a challenge, running, when you hit an injury, as an athlete, that's your time to grow. You got to figure out, how did I get the injury? What do I need to change in my life? Why am I miserable because I can't walk outside? What I found in this soul searching is, one, reading. I love reading. I love reading books. I love getting lost in books. Again, it's another very solitary, contradictory to my personality. Took a look at everyone in my life and kind of ran an inventory of who benefits me in my everyday. When I engage with you, do I feel full or do I feel empty? And in doing that, I cut a ton of people out of my life. And all of these great things started happening. I don't experience burnout anymore because the time that I take away from my business or my daughter is either time for me or time for me to engage with someone that I actually gain something from, and I feel full when I walk away. And the first few times I did that, it was wild. What it felt like to walk away from a meaningful dinner with my girlfriends, where I didn't walk away just being like, oh my God, I have to go to another event. It was just wow, we had a great conversation. I became a better person because I connected with that person.
Yes. So
my burnout, I haven't had burnout in a long time as a result. I do like to stretch it thin. I travel a lot, but I'm an intense person. I like keeping going. So I think because I have so many, I guess even reading might even be meditative, huh?
It is. Anyone that you speak to now, you're going to give them something, but they're going to give something back to you. I think it's exactly what you
ATM.
observe. Yeah,
Yep.
Because you only have so much time. But
you know what someone told me once? They told me, look at relationships like an ATM machine. If you only go withdrawal, what happens to the bank account? It's empty.
Yes.
But if you deposit and withdrawal, you are inevitably always going to have something there in the bank account.
And the biggest thing is that person needs to be you first.
Amen.
Your ATM needs to be yourself
Isn't that
first.
true?
But I didn't learn that till recently because
I didn't either.
No one teaches you that.
No, they don't tell you that. They tell you you're supposed to be there for everyone else, and no one really protects, I don't want to say your mental health, because I feel like that can spiral out of control, but no one tells you to protect your inner sanctum, to identify what that even means to you. I didn't learn that till I was 35, 36. That's pretty old. My 20s were a wild time.
I feel like you learn all of life lessons in your 30s, but then what you choose to do with them sets up the rest of your
You're so right.
Your life.
Isn't it funny? Because also 40 to 44 are your most lucrative years in your life.
Yep.
Which is We're on the clock right now.
Yes.
We are rolling.
Yes. Okay, we got big shit
gotta
to
move,
accomplish.
man.
Let's go. Creativity versus discipline. So you clearly operate with both vision and structure. What advice do you have for professionals who struggle to balance creative innovation and disciplined execution?
Ooh, in my business, those are usually two different people. It's hard to be creative and disciplined. There's a reason that our businesses are structured with, there are office managers, there's design managers who are kind of like the guide rails for the creatives. For me, I do vacillate between the two. I don't know how or why I do it. I genuinely have no idea how I've been given this gift. I want to say that I was trained during my time at the Win. When I moved to China, the project was upside down. I had no choice but to save it. And I didn't really have any support at the time on my particular team. I had support in the organization, but I learned how to juggle 70 things at once. And this man who I adore, I don't know where he is anymore in the world, he gave me the best advice anyone has ever given me. And I tell this to everybody. He looked at me one day and he said, no matter what you do, make a decision. If you make the wrong decision, make another one. Mm-hmm. And you will always move forward. Like, I can design all I want, but until I make a decision, I put pen to paper and I issue that document, we're on the clock now. We've executed.
Yes.
And being able to make a decision, I think, is probably the most important thing, the most important discipline that I have as a business owner.
And interesting thing enough is that, someone will say, hire fast and fire fast.
Oh my God. I literally, my best friend just told me this yesterday. I've never heard this before. Never heard it. It's wild that you just said this.
I was just reading, people in their 20s, they don't want to drink. They think social wellness is the thing.
I cannot wrap my brain around this. Oh my God. It's so intelligent. I just look at myself as 20. I wish I would have lived like that. I mean, I feel like at 40, I probably could have been where I'm going to be in 20 years had I made smart decisions like that. I've had a really hard time with the younger generation and the expectations and the conversations that I have. Because, I work across all levels. There are a lot of junior designers, and the things that come out of their mouth are shocking to me. When I was 25, all I wanted was to be in charge. I wanted to run a project. I wanted to design my own project, and I was going to do anything I could to get there. If you took an hour of your time to teach me something, I was going to absorb every minute of it.
That's just not there anymore.
It's gone.
People aren't.
They think they know everything.
That's not worth it anymore.
Yeah.
And that really that makes me angry because they have no idea how important it is to be able to do. I still do those things.
Right.
At the age I'm at now.
Same.
And it could be hours. It could be a week. It could be a month of free donated time working on something because I have something to prove, and I don't think that I'm too good not to have to do that.
You won't be till you die.
I realize it's important to be like, okay, let me show them what I can do.
Yeah, in our hiring now, we actually test people. I need to see a level of skill, and I have this guy that I'm about to hire. This guy is so hungry. He calls me every 2 days. I love this kid so much because I know exactly who he is because he just keeps calling. He's like, don't forget about me. Don't do this. Like, hey, do you want me to help you? And it blows me away that I don't even know what his qualifications are, but I'm going to hire him.
Exactly. Yeah, he'll make you money.
100%. He is a smart kid.
He'll do anything you ask. He'll make you money. And he'll turn whatever his position hiring for into probably one of your top positions ever.
I just can tell.
And that will be incredible because he's just there he's
hungry.
You.
He wants to learn.
He's not there for the job. He's there for you. Let's talk about the flow state in business. Every runner talks about the runner's high, but in your business, what's the equivalent moment of that? When everything clicks and basically fully locks you in.
Oh, man. At a project level, the day before the first guest walks into a space, when the contractor's out, the lighting levels are set, the furniture's been moved in, the staff is training, that is a magical moment. You go on these emotional journeys as you're creating spaces, and the last day, you have to say goodbye to it. It's, it's no longer yours.
And just like the runner's high, I mean, you can only experience those things a certain amount of times. Like you're only going to get that,
It's not long.
especially on a big project, maybe 2 handfuls of times, because some things could take 18 months to build and do. So it's like being really able to soak that in, I think, is probably really important for anyone, especially you, to see something that you've built. But then it's weird because the next day you wake up and you have to start from scratch.
The next day,
again.
I got too many other things to focus on. I'm ready for the next one. I used to have a really hard time saying goodbye to spaces, and now when I leave, goodbye.
Yes.
It's another memory.
What do you want your legacy to be, not just as a designer or founder, but as a mother, athlete, and as a leader?
Oh my God. As a mother, I genuinely want my daughter to be the best version of herself and comfortable in who she is. I want my daughter, when she leaves for college, she's not going to fall for any of this stupid bullying or like boy drama. Like, I want her to just be focused because she had a role model that was so focused, and she knows exactly what she wants, and she's going to go get it. And that's who she's going to be. I want her to be an entrepreneur. I want her to be able to handle hard things in life the way that I handle them. That's my goal for her. For my business, I want to be the firm that everybody wants to work at. You go to college, you're like, I want to work at Studio Lux. That's just always been my goal. There's a firm that I've modeled myself after that I wanted to be, and that's what I want us to be. For running, man, I just found out I'm considered a master's athlete. So I think, honestly, I think about this probably more than I should. I hope that I can, at 70, still be running. I hope that I'm one of those people that I'm not going to be running 7-minute miles, but I want to still be able to be running. I want my body to be in a physical space that I still can do endurance sports.
Yes.
That would be the ultimate gift, to be able to still have that. And then personally, isn't that the hard part? I feel like that's like...
It is,
because
you got to give to yourself too.
I know, but I feel like I have my daughter, I have the business, I get so much out of my work already. When I think about retiring, I'm like, I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. I don't know. Maybe I'll go make wine in France. Yeah. I don't know. But then I'll start a winery. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about personal. I don't think about that as much as I probably should. All of my energy is in my business and my daughter, and that's really all I focus on.
Thank you for showing us what it looks like to lead with precision, to train with purpose, and to live with intention.
Thanks for having me.
Where can they reach you? Where can they reach your business? First of all, Studio Lux.
You can go to our website at studioluxlight.com. We are also on Instagram at Studio Lux Lighting, or you can send me an email, charris@studioluxlight.com.
And where can we watch your badass marathon running?
I will be running the Revel Mount Charleston Marathon on Saturday, April 5th. And I'm sure I'll post a lot of videos.
Okay. I love that. Thank you so much for taking the time today. I really do appreciate that.
Thanks for having me. This was wonderful.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.